All right, welcome back for another episode of Chasing Ghosts. This is the video series where I talk about those hard to find, those impossible to find comics, those things you actually got to do some legwork, put in some research and some time. Usually go and track these things down because they are not easy to find in most cases. Granted, some of these are only hard to find, some of these might be actual ghosts that we can't find anywhere. We'll see where we stand with some of these books. And hopefully you're still enjoying this series as well as everything else here on the channel. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. Still on our way towards 2K, and once we hit that, we will have another big giveaway. Some boxes, some prizes, a lot of fun stuff still on the way from the channel. And if you want to know what potential ghosts I have to cover for this week, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be back with some top variants for Tuesday. All right? See you guys in a second. All right, so with our first book, we are going to hit up the Astonishing X-Men. Astonishing X-Men number 60 to be specific, and I've taken some note of at least one of you commented and let me know that they wanted to know the artist. So if I can find the artist pretty easily, I'm going to throw it down on these slides going forward. So Phil Noto did the cover on this one. This is a 1 in 50 incentive for Astonishing X-Men number 60. Came out in March of 2013. The estimated print run on this particular book is only under 28,000. So the incentive at a 1 in 50 ratio is potentially about 553 copies. Again, we're just doing that quick basic ratio math when I get the number from Comicron and do the incentive variant math, and this is what we come up with. So these are not numbers that are set in stone. This is an estimate, but it's the best estimate that I can come up with based on the information that we have. You can find all this information, like I said, on your own, but I'm going to do the legwork for you here and present it in a fashion that hopefully you still enjoy, along with the CGC census. What do we have for this book in the census? Well, there's only 4 copies. Which was surprising. Only 198 and 396s. So this is not going to be an easy one for you to track down, at least in graded, like a graded copy. But maybe you can find some raws out there. One did sell recently for $100 back in April. Just one. That's the only one I could find, at least on eBay. So be mindful of that as well. Listed for sale, I also only found one, and it's asking only $75. Granted, that's above ratio, but considering this is a pretty tough book, that might not be too bad with that free shipping option as well. So if you're interested, I was considering it, but I don't know. It's still there. As far as I'm aware, at the time of me filming this, that $75 one is still there. And look at this. It's a pretty cool cover. I mean, Wolverine running right at you. It is a pretty cool image, and that's why I picked this for the actual thumbnail, because I thought it was a pretty cool image of Wolverine. But this is our first book, which is going to lead us to our next book, which is one that I had mentioned a couple of times by my buddy Van Denby over at CBSI, comicbookinvest.com. He mentioned this issue a few times, this issue 61, which is another Phil Noto that I enjoy. This is issue 61. Pretty cool Gambit cover. I'm a Gambit fan, so I like this one. I don't have it. I'm still looking for it. But this is only a 1 in 25, as opposed to the 1 in 50 of the last book. From what I gathered, this is only a 1 in 25 incentive from what I could find. This is from April of 2013 for this Gambit book. And this one had a similar print run in that 27,000 range. But considering it's a 1 in 25 as opposed to a 1 in 50, the incentive is potentially about 1,000 copies, 1,083 if you do that quick math. The CGC census on this one still doesn't have many. There's only 7 total, but there are 5 9/8, a 9/6, and a 9/4, and that's it. So still not a lot of graded copies for this book either. Copy recently sold for only $41 at auction. I'd be down for that price. Had I been in on this auction back in April, I might have been up to 50. I'm just saying, that's me. That's what I'm talking about. That's probably what I would have been shooting for. I know usually I like to shoot for ratio or less, but certain books that are kind of tough to find that I actually like a lot, like this one, I might go up to double ratio. when we're talking about like a 1 in 25. I'm not spending hundreds of dollars like if we're talking about those super high incentive ratios. But hey, well, you guys know me by now. I'm pretty cheap. That's why I do a dollar bin digging video after all. I'm generally a cheap collector because I got a limited budget for comics. This is my hobby after all. It's not my job. It's not my living. It's just my hobby. So I only got a small pool that I can use to put into the plethora of books I have building up around me. But that all said, there are no copies out there right now. So when I went looking for a copy for myself, even before doing this video, I couldn't even find one for myself. So good luck if you're looking for this one as well. Moving on. So we covered Jen Bartel yesterday on Hidden Gems, and here's one of her books that I came across that I said, you know what? I'm going to look at it here on Chasing Ghosts instead of part of the Hidden Gems because this is a 1 in 20 Jen Bartel after all. That is not a super high ratio for this book that came out in March of 2017, but considering how low the print run is on this World of Wakanda issue 5, by the way, it's still going to be tough. Only 15,000 is the estimated print run. So even at a 120, there's under 800 copies of this one potentially out there. So not going to be an easy one to track down. It's a pretty cool cover. Black Panther, World of Wakanda, number 5. I know I talked about this series before. Like I grabbed that number 3 at a 1 in 50. I have that somewhere that I actually bought a 9.6 because it was cheap. But that said, this one only 7 copies as well, 6 9/8 and 1 9/6. So not a lot of copies in the census for this book either. We look and there's only one sale that I could find recently, $30 back in May, end of May, one bid at $30. Not too bad for 1 in 20. It's not too bad, and it's like I said, it's pretty solid. Jen Bartel cover too, and also what's available, also only one. But that is a 9.8, and they are asking $325. So it is not that cheap. And if you want it, there's one there. Not a lot of 9.8s, but here's one of them, and it's on the market for over $300 if you're interested. But we're going to keep with this series for the next issue and the final issue of the run, World of Wakanda number 6. Pretty cool cover here as well with a kind of a close-up. Almost looks like a trading card to me. But this is a 1 in 20 by Sal Veluto, if I'm saying his name right. April of 2017 is when this thing came out. Print run dipped here to below 15,000, so the incentive is about 727 copies for this one. And again, 1 in 20, that's not a very high ratio, but still not easy to qualify on a title with a print run as low as this. So we move over to check the CGC census to see what we have for this book, and I couldn't find any copies that were subbed. So no copies in the CGC census for this particular issue, but this particular variant, I should say. There were also no sales recently for this particular one that I could find. And when we look into what's available, I did find a couple of copies. Surprisingly, I did find two copies. One was asking $67, while the other one was asking about $24, $25. But that was over in the UK. So with another $24, $25, this is like $50 shipped for that one too. So neither of these are cheap if you're looking for them, but they are out there. There are 2 copies. Now, the next one comes from me, or the next little grouping comes from viewer. Hit me up on IG, as I told you. Send me a message. Send me a direct message. I'm happy to have a conversation with you and talk comics because I do love this stuff. And I did not know that these books existed. I just didn't think off the top of my head. I was asked, hey, do you know about these Duke Nukem retailer incentives? I was like, Duke Nukem? I didn't know there was any retailer incentives. I know I looked into Duke Nukem before, but I don't remember seeing any 1 in 10s. But apparently, I should have thought IDW, they're going to have 1 in 10s, and they do. So Duke Nukem, Glorious Bastard. There are 1 in 10 incentives here. These RIs for this run. So thanks to Optimus Rhymes one. I don't know if I'm saying that right. You can see it's all right there. So Optimus Rhymes NC. I don't know how to pronounce it, but there it is. Thank you. Thank you for mentioning these books because I'm putting them in here onto the show. That's issue 1, and then there's also 2, 3, 4. Here are all the covers. I kind of like 3. I like that throne. Anytime you got somebody chilling on the throne, I'm usually a fan. I don't know. It's just a cool image to me. That said, these 4 issues, all 1 in 10s, not going to be easy to find, but we're just going to focus in on the first one for now. 1 in 10, July 2011, because it's easier to find number 1s, and it's probably going to be the one that most people will seek out because people like number 1s, first appearance, first issues, that kind of thing, more so than the rest. But estimated print run here is only about 6,000, so do that math. Incentives only got maybe about 600. Not a lot. Also, none of this one in the census. So no submitted copies of this 1 in 10 that I could find. You want to look online? There were a couple of sales. Not too cheap on the set, but I don't know, the single $40, and then it looks like the lot of all 4 incentive variants and an ash can took a best offer on $300. So definitely not cheap for these Duke Nukem books. And what's listed for sale is there is still one with 12 watchers at $40. So if 40 is a price you're willing to pay for a 1 in 10, and you like Duke Nukem, and you're excited by the potential future prospects of a series for this character, $40. There you go. Join those other dozen watchers and make a call for yourself. Me, I'm probably sitting this one out because I wasn't a huge Duke Nukem guy. I played a little. I played a little Doom, and probably played Doom more than Duke Nukem. So I don't know. Just wasn't really the type of game that I was into back then. Back then, I was more of the RPG type player. But that's it. Moving on to our next run. Again, thanks Optimus for the suggestion. So keep an eye out for these Duke Nukems because they're not going to be easy to find, these 1 in 10s. These oddball properties through IDW, even with as ratios as low as 1 in 10, they could be tough. They can definitely be tough. Speaking of oddball properties, how about Disney's Haunted Mansion? Yes, Haunted Mansion has comics. Not only does Haunted Mansion have comics, but there were Disney exclusives that were given out at the park. So God knows how hard these are going to be able to find if you don't go to the Disneyland or Disney World very often. I don't live in Florida. I don't live in California, so I don't get to either park very often. So this Disney theme park exclusive from March of 2016, I don't even know what we could say the print run is going to be on this thing because there isn't one. I mean, there weren't a ton of copies printed of the actual book, so who knows how many were printed of this weird park exclusive. That said, there are copies in the census. There were 26 copies in the census for this particular first issue, 18 9/8s, 4 9/6s, and then a few others, just kind of rounding that out. And if you're getting this handed to you at a park, how did you keep this book in good shape? Then you must have had to run it right back to the hotel right away. But it is what it is. Surprisingly, it's not as expensive as I would have thought. $12 one sold for a raw. And then, well, 179.8 is not too bad, but still, considering how tough this is to kind of track down, I would have thought it would have been a little bit more. But maybe it's not that tough to track down. Because when I actually did search for it on the internet, on eBay at least, there were 5 copies right now that you could have. 9/8 for about 150. There's a raw for 150. 150 for another 9/8, $92 for a 9/6, and then a raw. Starting auction at $28. So various options for you, various prices, different price points. So keep that in mind if you're interested. It's one of those oddball little things. I do like oddball little things, so I actually, while doing research, found out that issue 2 had one of these as well. Now, everybody's going to be into issue 1, but how many people are going to be into issue 2? And it's that kind of thinking that got me actually looking into this one, and I actually bought this one, and I bought this one online, and my sale or my purchase is in the list about to come up, so I can show it to you. So this Disney theme park exclusive for issue 2. Again, no idea what the print run might be on this thing. There are a couple in the census with 11 9/8s and then looks like 1 9/6 and a pair of 9/0s. So 14 total for issue 2. 2 sold recently, sort of. There was a 9/8 signature series that sold for a whopping $160. And then look, for $5, there was a lot of comics that sold for one bid, $4.99. That was me. I see weird things like this at auction. I'm just like, you know what? I'll throw a couple of bucks down on it. And there you go. I won for $5. I got issue 2, the Disney Park exclusive, issue 3, and then this Marvel some variant of some kind. I think it was also a park thing. I don't know, oddball books, but for $5, 3 comics, why not? So that's what I did, and that's what I bought because, like I said, I like weird things. And if you also are into weird things and you look for it online, they do have a pair of these exclusives, 1 and 2 together, $40, free shipping. So there are copies out there. If you are that interested, you can still have it. And with that, we're going to move on to the final portion of our Chasing Ghosts for this week. And I have a run of covers that I want to talk about. Now, Go-Go Power Rangers had a plethora of movie homage covers to start their run, a decent amount. We're going to look at those later. I just did movie homages for Dollar Bin Digging. And like I said, I didn't know a lot of people, they commented that they liked it, but there aren't a lot of views. So I figured I'd save the movie homages for another time. and we're going to look at the album cover homages. So we're going to look at the albums. These are the albums that happened at the end of the Go-Go Power Ranger run here. So we're going to start here with this one. Again, there's more than one I'm going to show you here. I just picked out a handful that I liked. I thought were kind of interesting, so we're going to spotlight those. But there are more than what I'm sharing with you here because, again, there's like 30 some plus issues, and I believe all of them had either a movie or eventually album cover homage. And the album started like in the 20s, like the early 20 issues. So this will start here with this first one. This is Rita's Kingdom, right? Rita's Kingdom, which is a No Doubt homage for Tragic Kingdom. I know you remember No Doubt. Oh, and these are also all 1 in 20s. These are all 1 in 20 incentives. And this one came out in July of 2019. The estimated print run here was only about 10,000 or so. So this incentive is only going to be about 534 copies for this, No Doubt cover, which is kind of cool. I kind of like the image, I like the colors, I like the framing. It's not bad. In the census, there are 498s, and that's it. So good luck finding this one as well. What sold recently? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to mention. This is also issue 21. This is issue 21 of Go-Go Power Rangers. I didn't mention that earlier. But this is issue 21. You can see copies have sold recently. $30. Best offer on $30. Both of those were back in May. And if you want to go buy one right now, I was only able to find one copy on the market. And it's only asking $27. So for a 1 in 20, it's a little over ratio. It's not too bad. Again, considered, but haven't thrown my wallet down yet. But maybe I will before the week's out. But if you guys beat me to it, have at it. It's all yours if you want it. But I don't know. Thinking about it. So that was issue 21, which is going to take us to our next issue, which is the Smashing Pumpkins, I believe. Right? This is a Smashing Pumpkins Siamese Dream cover. You can see pretty cool. I like putting these things together so you can see the homage and how well done it was, that they did. And I think they did another good job here. October 2019 for this one. Also, like I said, 1 in 20, as all these have been. Print run started dipping here. So we're looking at 8,800 copies. So the incentive for this 1 in 20 is only about 443 copies. So some of these are going to start getting tougher and tougher as the print runs go down, as this run starts to end. This album edition only has one in the census, 198, and that was it. Copies sold. There was one sold recently. Oh, sorry. I forgot again. Issue 24, because it's not on the cover, so I don't immediately think to call it out. But this is issue 24 of Go-Go Power Rangers. 1 in 21 sold for $25 at the end of May there. So a little over ratio. However, right now, there were none available to buy on the market. So good luck if you want to go hunting that particular one. I think up next, I want to say this might be issue 27. Well, we'll double check it, but this is Go-Go Power Rangers. And if this looks familiar to you, you might be an Oasis fan because this is the album cover for Oasis. Definitely, maybe. So if you're into Oasis or you just remember Oasis and you're not a fan, doesn't matter. That's the homage here, which again, it's pretty well done. Pretty good, 1 for 1, if you ask me, when you look at these things. I think it's pretty well done. 1 in 20 incentive on this as well. This is from December of 2019. Estimated print run dips now below 8,000. So this incentive is under 400 at about 396 copies. The CGC census only has 2, and they're both 9/8 on this one. And this particular one has no copies sold recently. None. And if you want to go buy one, I found only one. Only one. It was a 9/8, but it was asking a decent $216 for this particular one. And out of Canada, so you got to pay a little bit extra for that shipping. And this is issue 26. I'm sorry. 26 is the issue number here. I think the next one I wanted to cover was 27. And the next one is pretty cool. If you like Dr. Dre. So, Go-Go Power Rangers. Yes, this is the Chronic. If you didn't tell. If you couldn't tell, there's the homage there. Pretty cool. I don't know. I like this stuff. I think it's kind of fun. So 1 in 20 incentive again, January 2020. So this is the next month. So I believe this is issue 27. That's why the number was sticking in my head. Only about 7,600 copies. So the incentive is down to about 381. Print run's dipping. Print run is dropping as we go along. There is a 9.9 of this book in the census. And that's 1 of 5. There's only 5 total. 199, 398, and a 96. And that's it. All white cover could be tough to find in high grade as we start looking here, later. No copies have sold recently for me to get you a market on what this thing moves for, but there were actually two copies available. So two copies, two both raw, $63 and $100 for this issue 27, this 1 in 20. So if you're interested in the Chronic homage here on Go Go Power Rangers number 27, you can find copies. It's just going to be cost you a few bucks. Definitely over ratio. Moving on as we get through the end of the run and the end of these homages. Again, I'm not covering every single one. I'm skipping around and picking out some of the ones I liked a little bit more than others. And I'm a Beastie Boys fan, so I enjoyed this one, and I kind of want this for my collection. I do not have one. I do not have it. I'm on I'm on the lookout for one now, but it might be tough to find. So this is the Check Your Head album. If you didn't catch it by just looking at the cover image, it's again pretty cool, pretty accurate, rendition, I guess you would say. Also a 1 in 20. This is from March of 2020. Print run dips again to about 7,200. So this incentive is down to about 360. Only 360 potential copies now. And there are a couple in the census, not a lot. 2 9/8, a 9/6, and a 9/4. And that's all four that are in the CGC census. There were no copies sold in the last 3 months that I could find. And when I wanted to go buy one, there actually are copies. There are two copies. They're asking 45 and about $54. Hemming and hawing, debating, because this is over double. This is over double ratio. So we're getting a little out of my comfort zone. I'm not sure if I like it that much or not, but I'm considering it. If these had best offers, which they don't, but if they had best offer, I probably would have thrown an offer down. I probably would say, we could take 35, but no best offer option. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to hem and haw a little bit more unless somebody else goes and buys them before I do. But got to keep an eye out for this one because, like I said, I do like the Beastie Boys and I do like this homage cover personally. And we got one more to kind of wrap us up here for this run of covers here. Go Go Power Rangers Volume 31, The Ranger's Life. And if you didn't connect the dots here, this is Jay-Z's Hard Knock Life. So pretty cool. Like I said, accurate rendition. You can't fault them there. They did a pretty solid job. This was from May of 2020, also a 1 in 20 incentive. But since we are now in May of 2020 for this one, Comic-Con is got some unreliable data at this point because this was pandemic times. So as the distribution got split to here, there, and everywhere to the multiple different places from Diamond, and it's just everything became a mess. So getting print runs around this time is going to be difficult. So I could not do it. So we don't know what the estimated print run might be on this issue. We can only assume that it dips below the 7,200 thereabouts of the issue before, or it's about the same, which would make the incentive either about the same or lower. So the last one was 360. So maybe it's a little less, maybe it's a little more. I don't know, but we can't say for certain. There is only one copy in the census, and it's only a 9/6 for that one. Copies have sold recently for this one, and they sold pretty cheap, $5, and best offer on $13.77. And then what's listed for sale? If you wanted to go shopping for this thing, there's one listed, and it's only asking $13.50. So well under ratio, because this is also a 1 in 20. So even with shipping, you're still just under ratio there at that price point. But that's what I got for you this week. Again, I kind of like these album homage covers. It's a little different than the movie homage covers, but still kind of fun. But I always find myself leaning towards the homages to albums that I like, regardless of like the artist and the title, anything. It's all about the album. Like, I don't know. It's a little different form of collecting, I guess. But for this week, there were a lot of tough ones. So I only got 4 that we're going to put in the hard to find category because there's 2 copies of the Beastie Boys. There's 2 copies of the Chronic. There was 2 copies of that World of Wakanda, and then multiples, I think 5 of the Haunted Mansion. But still, since there was multiple copies of all 4 of these, we'll call these ones hard to find for this week. So that means the vast majority of these books I looked at this week that had 1 or none, all 9 of these from both Astonishing X-Men, the World of Wakanda, the Duke Nukems, the Haunted Mansion, and then 4 of those album covers from Go Go Power Rangers. These, I will call these ghosts because there was either 1 or none on the market at this point. So good enough for me. Hopefully, it's good enough for you. If you disagree, let me know in the comment section. If you have any other recommendations, hit me up in the comment section. Hit me up on Instagram with a direct message. If you got any suggestions or you just want to chat comics, I am open to it. And thanks for stopping by and checking this out. I appreciate you all. Hopefully, you're still enjoying the channel as well as this show. And with that, I will see you guys later with some more content. Make sure you check out the TAC show again this week on Wednesday as we do some more action heroes. All right, later.